The Galactic Council had studied thousands of intelligent civilizations. Some feared war, some feared extinction, most feared pain. But only one species confused the galaxy: humans. Because no matter how brutal the battle became, no matter how impossible the odds looked, humans kept advancing, even while dying, even while burning, even while entire fleets collapsed around them. The galaxy believed humanity was insane. Then the war started, and they finally learned the truth. Humans did not fear death. They feared surrender.
Earth was not respected. Not at first. The galaxy viewed humanity as primitive. Too emotional. Too aggressive. Too unpredictable. Human diplomats smiled too much. Human soldiers joked before combat. Human civilians rebuilt cities immediately after disasters. To alien civilizations, none of that made sense. Most species evolved to avoid suffering. Humanity evolved by surviving it.
Inside the Galactic Council chamber, the greatest minds in the known universe argued over humanity. They are unstable. They are violent. They will destroy themselves eventually. But one ancient alien ambassador disagreed. Ambassador Thalek had watched humanity for decades. And what terrified him was not human aggression. It was human resilience.
Humans survived ice ages, plagues, world wars, economic collapse, starvation, nuclear fear, climate disasters. And somehow, every generation continued forward. The galaxy could not understand why. Most civilizations broke after one global catastrophe. Humanity used catastrophe as motivation.
The Varex Empire arrived without warning, a military civilization older than most stars in the outer systems. They conquered worlds in weeks. Their fleets blocked suns. Their soldiers never retreated. Entire species surrendered instantly. But when the Varex reached human territory, something unexpected happened. Earth refused.
The Varex Emperor transmitted a single message: surrender and survive. Humanity responded with silence. Then, millions of civilian ships evacuated children from frontier colonies while military fleets moved forward. Not backward. Forward.
The galaxy expected panic. Instead, humans prepared. Factories operated 24 hours a day. Entire cities volunteered for military production. Retired veterans returned to service. Teenagers lied about their age to join defense fleets. The Varex could not understand it. Why would a species willingly run toward death?
The first major battle lasted 7 minutes. 7 horrifying minutes. The Varex fleet destroyed nearly half the human defenders instantly. Explosions lit the void like newborn stars. Entire cruisers vanished. But something disturbed the alien commanders. The humans kept at.
Captain Elias Ward watched his ship lose engines. Fire spread through every deck. Most species would surrender. Ward smiled. Then ordered full acceleration directly into the enemy flagship. Dialogue. Tell Earth we held the line. Narration. The collision destroyed both ships and stopped the Varex advance long enough for civilians to escape.
The Varex commander replayed the footage repeatedly. The human captain knew he would die. Yet his heart rate never increased. His voice never shook. He accepted death without hesitation. For the first time in centuries, the Varex felt uncertainty.
The galaxy finally investigated human psychology. What they discovered terrified them. Humans understood death better than any species alive. Because humans live with it constantly. Every human knew life was temporary. And that knowledge changed everything.
To most civilizations, death was failure. To humanity, death was inevitable. What mattered was what happened before it. That idea reshaped their civilization. Humans valued sacrifice, legacy, honor, family, freedom. not survival at any cost.
The Varex Empire attacked Colony 17 expecting surrender. Instead, they found civilians fighting beside soldiers, teachers, farmers, engineers. Even wounded survivors returned to combat zones. The aliens could not understand why, until intercepted human transmissions revealed the truth. Dialogue. If we stop fighting, our children die next.
One hospital became legendary. Doctors refused evacuation, while orbital bombardment destroyed the city around them. They continued surgery, even after power failed, even after oxygen systems collapsed. Alien drones recorded humans manually breathing for injured strangers. The footage spread across the galaxy. And for the first time, other species began questioning the Varex War.
3 years into the war, humanity changed strategy. Instead of defending worlds, they hunted Varex supply lines. Human raiders attacked impossible targets, sometimes without enough fuel to return, and still they volunteer.
Operation Black Horizon became humanity's most dangerous mission. A single objective: destroy the Varex command nexus. Probability of survival: less than 1%. Every seat filled instantly.
The Varex Emperor finally understood. Humans were not fearless because they wanted death. Humans were fearless because they accepted it. And an enemy who already accepted death could not be controlled.
The stars above the Varex capital burned red. Warning sirens echoed across orbital defense stations as thousands of human vessels emerged from hyperspace. Some ships arrived missing entire sections of armor. Others leaked plasma into the void. Many should never have survived the journey, but they came anyway, because this was not about survival anymore. It was about ending the war forever. Inside the Varex command citadel, officers stared in disbelief. The human fleet was exhausted, outnumbered, outgunned, and still advancing. Admiral Sophia Kane stood silently on the bridge of the human flagship Resolute. Her crew waited for orders. Outside the viewport, the largest fleet ever assembled by the Varex Empire prepared to destroy humanity once and for all. A young officer finally whispered, "Admiral, if we fail today." Sophia never looked away from the stars. Dialogue. Then humanity fell standing. Narration. The bridge fell silent. Then every human ship accelerated forward together. The final battle had begun.
The Varex opened fire first. Entire sections of space disappeared beneath storms of plasma and antimatter explosions. Human destroyers vanished instantly. Cruisers shattered apart like glass. But the fleet never slowed. Human pilots flew directly through expanding debris fields. Exploding ships became shields for the vessels behind them. Every loss pushed the fleet closer. Closer to the Varex homeworld. Closer to victory. On the lower decks of the Resolute, soldiers prepared for boarding operations. Some wrote final messages to their families. Some prayed quietly. Others laughed nervously while checking weapons. Veteran Sergeant Daniel Reyes looked around the crowded dropship bay. No fear. Only determination. Dialogue. We don't need to survive today. He loaded his rifle. Dialogue. We just need humanity to survive.
The first boarding pod slammed into the Varex dreadnought Karen. Metal screamed. Explosions ripped through corridors. Human Marines stormed inside through fire and smoke. The Varex defenders expected panic. Instead, the humans advanced room by room with terrifying focus. Even wounded soldiers kept fighting. Even when ammunition ran low, a Varex commander watched security footage in horror. One human Marine shielded injured teammates while continuing forward alone against impossible odds. The alien officer finally understood the nightmare facing the Empire. Humans were not fighting because they expected victory. They were fighting because surrender was impossible.
Deep beneath the Varex capital, the Emperor watched the battle unfold. For decades, the Empire ruled through fear. Every species eventually surrendered. Every civilization eventually broke. But humanity became stronger with every sacrifice. The Emperor finally spoke the truth nobody in the Empire wanted to admit. Dialogue. They are not afraid of death. Narration. A trembling advisor answered quietly. Dialogue. That is why we cannot stop them. Narration. For the first time in Varex history, the Emperor felt fear.
As the battle reached its peak, a transmission suddenly spread across every military frequency in the galaxy. Not from the fleet. From Earth. Children. Families. Ordinary civilians appeared on screens across thousands of ships. They were singing old songs from humanity's past. Songs about home. About hope. About surviving darkness. Human soldiers across the battlefield stopped for only a moment. Some smiled. Some cried quietly. Then they fought harder than ever before. Because suddenly, every human remembered exactly what waited for them if they won.
The human fleet reached the inner defense ring. Only one obstacle remained: the Varex Command Nexus, a fortress larger than entire cities, protected by thousands of weapons platforms. No fleet had ever breached it. Admiral Kane gave the order anyway. Dialogue: all ships forward. Narration: human cruisers accelerated directly into the defense grid. Some ships rammed enemy platforms intentionally. Others deployed boarding teams while burning apart. The battle became chaos. Fire covered the stars. And then, the impossible happened. The defense ring collapsed. A path opened straight toward the Varex Command Nexus. Humanity charged through it without hesitation.
The final explosion could be seen from orbit. The Varex Command Nexus vanished in white fire. Across the battlefield, alien fleets stopped fighting. Command systems failed. Panic spread instantly. The empire that conquered galaxies for centuries collapsed in minutes. Not because humanity was stronger, but because humanity endured longer. The surviving Varex ships retreated into deep space. And for the first time since the war began, the stars fell silent.
Victory did not feel glorious. Too many ships were gone. Too many voices would never return home. Admiral Kane stood alone on the bridge of the Resolute, watching rescue teams search the battlefield. A young officer approached carefully. Dialogue. Did we win? Narration. Sophia looked toward the stars filled with wreckage, then answered softly. Dialogue. We survived. Narration. And for humanity, that had always been enough.